Hey guys, this is Nothing Like a Power Ranger, and today I'm going to be doing a video on SPD Blue Ranger Sky. Okay guys, so SPD was actually started in 2005, February 5th. So as most of us know, SPD stands for Space Patrol Delta. Now, Sky is the Blue Ranger of SPD. He has this ability to create a force field given to him by his father's DNA, which was enhanced but when him and the other Rangers' parents were creating the morphers for SPD and doing some experiments. They were giving these superpowers that were passed on to their children, which, as you have seen in the TV show, all of the SPD Rangers, including the Omega Ranger, have these superpower abilities. Now, Sky's was these force field things that he can do offensive or defensive moves with, which can be really useful as you see him use them in many situations, even throwing them sort of in a wall sort of fashion, hitting people with the wall with his force fields. He got very good with his force fields as time went by. So did the other Rangers, but we're focusing on Sky today. So, Sky's full name is Skylar Blake Tate. Now, you've heard him called, Tate or whatever, and his dad was a Ranger, a Red Ranger before him. He is the Blue Ranger, which, as you know, if you watch the TV show, he was a little bit upset about that, but we'll get to that in a minute. But his dad was the Red SPD Ranger. He was a Red SPD Ranger, one of the more original ones. So, the Red Ranger was, as it looks like, a Time Force Red Ranger. It's actually not. It's an SPD Original Ranger. They just used the same suit from the other series of Time Force for SPD Red Ranger at that point in time, because they didn't want to have to create a new Ranger completely. But it is still an SPD Ranger. Now, Sky, when he was a kid, his dad died. And he got the helmet of his dad, and it was the Red Ranger helmet, as you know. He always wanted to be the Red Ranger. He tried very hard to become the Red Ranger, but he just didn't have what it took to be a Red Ranger. He tried too hard. So he had to be placed as the Blue Ranger for the starting of the series. Now, back to where he got upset about that. He was obviously upset at Kruger for turning him into the Blue Ranger rather than being the Red Ranger, even though he knew that that's what he always wanted to be. Now, Sky was also very upset when Jack turned into the Red Ranger. In the center of the series, Sky goes to a prison to find this monster. Now, the monster ends up being this guy named Murloc. Now, Murloc was the guy who had, before that, way earlier in the years, killed Sky's father, the original SPD Red Ranger. The guy who gave Sky the want to be a Power Ranger. Now, Sky didn't know that because Kruger did not tell him that because he thought that it might hinder his abilities. Now, the guy is supposed to help him. Murloc is supposed to help Sky and the Rangers, and in return, Sky will give him one of the saddest memory that he has. Murloc did help him. Now, Sky goes back to complete his part of the deal, which was to tell a sad part of his life, the saddest part of his life. Now, Sky, as anyone would tell us, the story of his dad. Now, Murloc already knew this because his dad was, killed by him. But Murloc uses this opportunity to make Sky, the toughest Ranger that there is probably, cry. He tells him that that it wasn't even that sad. He makes fun of his story. And Sky has a tear drop come down his cheek. Now, Murloc can go through reflective objects in this other dimension thing. So he can jump through different reflective objects. So he takes the chance with the tear and he goes into the reflective object of the tear. And that is when he just disappears and Sky is left there. Then, Sky and the rest of the team have to go find this Murloc. He's destroying things and he starts fighting them. Eventually, after a long time of fighting and a good, long battle, Murloc is defeated and they put him into one of their prison cards. Then, he is put into their prison area where they keep all their prison cards and never seen again. But, moving on past that little encounter with Sky's father killer, or the man who killed Sky's father, the series goes on, finding the Omega Ranger and fighting other bad guys. Finally, they defeat Grum. Grum being their biggest enemy ever, he is defeated finally. Now, this was good for them. You know, obviously they bring in the Nova Ranger, and the Omega Ranger is already there. Omega Ranger is Sam, as we know, and he leaves with the Nova Ranger back to their time. But continuing on with Sky, once they defeat Grum, Jack leaves he gives the poor free stuff, and he helps the poor out. But Sky is then promoted to the Red Ranger, and that moves Bridge up to the Blue Ranger. Now, Z and Sid stay the same Rangers. They're still pink and yellow. But that leaves an opening, which they use to bring in another Ranger. They turn the Blue Ranger, or they turn the Green Ranger into a girl for a little while. Now, as you see later in Overdrive, if you guys have seen that series, one of the episodes called Once a Ranger, or it's a part 1 and 2 actually, the episode called Once a Ranger has Bridge come in. Now, as you see in that episode, Bridge is the Red Ranger, which is pretty cool, seeing as how he was promoted again. Now, what this means is that Kruger was promoted to the head of SPD. You remember that bird guy that was so annoying in the entire series that always messed with Kruger or whatever and tried to take over their entire thing? Well, that's who he takes place of. Now, Bridge then takes place of the Red Ranger, and Sky is turned into the Kruger character. Now, this is where it gets really cool. Later in 2018, they released a Christmas special thing of the new SPD team. What happened to the team? Well, what happened to them was Sky became the Deco Ranger, which is this really cool looking Ranger. This guy right here. This is what he turns into. It's the best. It's so cool. I mean, it looks really good, I think. It's like, it has some resemblance of Kruger, and then it's like Red Ranger-y, and it also has a triangle shape like his father's suit on the side of him. So Sky turns into this Deco Ranger. Now, this whole team is completely changed now because Sky's the Deco Ranger, which is red. He's red. All red like Deco Ranger. You saw the picture. Then you have Bridge, who is turned into the Red Ranger. Here's a picture of the new team, actually. Here's Bridge with like the Red Ranger. You see him in like his SWAT mode thing. And then you see Sid and Z still yellow and pink. And the Blue Ranger this time is a girl. I guess the old Blue Ranger gets turned up into the Blue Ranger. The old Green Ranger gets put into the Blue Ranger, the new one. And then the Green Ranger is probably the best part of this picture right here. As you can see, this is J.J. Oliver, which, if you've seen Mighty Morphin, Dino Thunder, Zeo, or Turbo, you know who Tommy Oliver is. Or even a lot of the other series have Tommy Oliver return again, like Mega Force. He was really main in that one. Ninja Steel, pretty main in that one. He returns in those ones. Now, Tommy Oliver's son is J.J. Oliver. He's right there, the green guy. Now, I know I got a little sidetracked on that. I just thought that I'd show you the picture and then I'd be like, you guys would be like, what? Why is there some dude wearing like the dragon armor suit? I thought that that was like only Tommy Oliver's thing or the Mighty Morphin thing. It doesn't even make any sense. It has nothing to do with SPD. Well, it does. J.J. Oliver is the SPD Green Ranger. That was announced in the sneak peek in 2018. Now, the Omega Ranger and the Nova Ranger are already back in time, and Kruger moved up to the top of the chain. So that's all the Rangers that would be in it left over. So this is the entire new SPD team after the whole series. I really think that Sky looks really cool, and I think they did a good job with this suit and the whole Deco Ranger idea. He looks kind of Kruger-y and then kind of Red Ranger-y, and then it's just a really cool thing, I think. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed those quick facts, and I hope that I'll see you guys again on Nothing Like a Power Ranger.